Hello everybody. Hello everybody. Hello everybody. Hello everybody. Hello everybody. My name is Ian. My name is Ian. So my name is Ian. And my name is Ian. My name is Ian. And welcome to Ian's Bricks. Welcome to Ian's Bricks. And welcome to Ian's Bricks.
And yeah.
As we're talking about money and all that, so let's ask, what was your biggest loss?
My biggest
Have
loss.
you lost any money on Lego that you've sold? Because I probably obviously bought. For me, was the Lego movie stuff.
Lego Movie, yeah.
I bought a load of Lego Movie 2, and most of it I sold less than what I recommended retail. So
okay.
I might say I maybe bought it for £20 or £30. It went for about 15, 20. It was not a massive loss, like a £5.
Yeah.
It barely went for RIP, God knows how many years later. So have you had one you bought and you think, oh my God, I've made £30 loss, £40 loss?
Yeah, so generally I try not to make a loss.
No, I can understand
and I think with Lego, we're quite lucky in the fact that it tends not to lose a lot of money. So even if you buy a set for £100, you can, even if you can't sell it on for £100, you could probably sell it on for a little bit less. I think the thing that springs to mind is something I actually sold recently, and it was there was the wooden minifigure. It was called Originals, and they did this Lego wooden minifigure, and I loved it. I saw it and bought it. I think at the time they were £125. You know, they were quite expensive. They were very, very expensive. Now, they didn't sell very well. I liked them, and I think even Lego put them reduced. Lego put them reduced for a while because they weren't particularly selling very well. And I think I got that and some minifigures as well. But I think I even then I spent, it was over 100. I think the thing itself probably cost me £100, and I'd been taking it to my brick fairs and brick festivals. This thing just wasn't selling, and I think I knew it was going to be a difficult one to sell because even after it had retired after about a year, Lego stores and the Lego Land centres that they have in Birmingham, Manchester, they still had them. You know, these just weren't, people just weren't buying them. They're still available a year or two after. Anyway, I did actually sell it at the Southampton Brick Festival, and I ended up selling, I think it was for £80. So I made a £20 loss on that. But I'd had it for quite a while. But, you know, that really is the exception to the rule. I think whether I've been lucky or...
So what about your biggest, like for me, I always remember I bought the Super Star Destroyer for £270 from Smith's, and I got a tip off that they were going to bring out the next one, and I got rid of it for £800. So I was like, oh my God, you know, so for you, what was your biggest? You think, oh my God,
I think it's things that Lego re-release. I think it's a good example is the Saturn V rocket. I bought only about 3 of those, so I didn't go all in or anything, but I bought a few of those. And they retired it, and then about a year later they reimagined the whole set, literally exactly the same set, same amount of pieces, just with a different box number, and then it was on the shelves for another 3 or 4 years. And the Death Star as well was another one. They did that with that as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
They reimagined it and redid it, and I bought some of the originals. And I think it was more the fact that I just had to hang on to those sets for a lot longer than I would have liked to. So I didn't sell them on at a loss or anything like that, but I still made a bit of profit on them. But yeah, you sort of hanging on to them for years. Another one, I think one of the big mistakes I made was the VW camper, the original one, the red one. 10220, I think is the set number. I might be wrong. I'm sure the figure. And I bought it and built it. Loved the set and thought this is going to be great. And it's before I was aware too much of retiring Lego dates. And I think it had been on shelves for a couple of years and thought, I'll buy some of these now because they're really nice sets. I love them. And surely it won't be too much longer. Oh, look, they're on discount. They've got £5 off on so-and-so. I'll buy a few of those. I think I ended up buying about 10 of them. Oh, goodness me. They just stayed on shelves for years. Absolutely ages. And again, it was before I was really selling on. So I wasn't really using eBay to sell on. And I think it pretty much finally retired around about 2019, 2020 when I started doing my brick fairs and brick festivals. I think I've sold them all now. So I have sold them on, but yeah, the profit on them wasn't very much. I was buying them for like £80, selling them on for 120. That was like 10 years after I'd bought them. So if you counter inflation into that, you're probably not making much money on these particular sets.
If it was in the bank, you probably wouldn't have the money left if it was sat in the bank.
No,
you know what I mean?
yeah. So these things happen.
You do miss. I remember when I say 1088. It's the Death Star. I had that, and I had 3 or 4 of them.
Was that the original one that was like the
Red boxed one?
Yeah.
And
So it wasn't the one with the minifigures in. It was the big one that you built with a bit out the side of it. Is that the one, or?
You know, this is the first version of the second one that came out.
Okay.
So I bought 4 or 5 of them, and they were retired just before Christmas.
Yes.
So everyone was getting stressed because they wanted it for Christmas.
Yes.
And they were up to £500-600.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to sell them. And my mate, I had not really been investing for months.
Yeah.
I was about 3 or 4 months into investing, kind of thing. And he said, no, wait. And I was like, okay. And then boom, the other one came out, and I was like, I could have sold these for £600 each. And then I barely gone for 300.
Yeah.
And so you do get those moments. You don't know. It's not.
You don't know. And the irony is actually now they've actually really gone up in value. I sold mine quite early on just to get rid of them. I'm like, oh, if I held on them a bit longer, I could have got more. But yeah, it's one of the things.
It's like the Ewok Village. I had 12 of them, and I sat on them.
That's a set I think I missed out on.
Ages and ages. And I had 12 of them, and I think they've been retired 4 years, and they were barely going £50 above what they were originally bought for.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to get rid of them. I think I've got 2 left now, and now they're slowly.
They've really gone up now, haven't they? But again, it's just a time thing, and because they haven't redone an Ewok Village now, Lego could do it any time. Next week it'd be like, there's going to be a new Ewok, and I think they will. Because Lego are going to do it. If they're going to make money from it, they're going to do it again.
I think that Lego's now tuned into the second-hand market, and they don't like you making money off them.
They don't.
So that's
but
why.
We do.
Yeah, we do. To be honest, I feel that Lego's missing a treat. They should love us making money, because I talked to someone who is quite high up in Lego or work on a website, and he hates second-hand sellers, and I'm like, well, if you made £500 profit on a Lego set, it more likely go back into Lego for another £500 profit.
Exactly.
So if you spent £500 on a Lego set, made £1,000 on it, Lego's going to make another lot of sales from you, rather than like people like Jane Bricks and all those people like that who get the Lego given to them for free to review, and they're making money from Lego from the reviews and affiliates and all that stuff. They're making money without spending money. You're spending money, gambling your money, and you're actually reinvesting it into Lego. So I feel Lego shouldn't have tried to slap our wrists for reselling. They should be embracing it, because we make the money, not to go on holiday. You invest it again,
maybe a little bit.
But, but mostly, if you made £5,000 profit, you'd be thinking, 3 or 4 of that is going back into more Lego, so I can make more money.
Yeah,
it's a ridiculous thing. Right. Fans, you have lots of fans, I see. Have you any gifts from fans? Anyone giving you any?
A couple of people have sort of given me things and sent me things. Obviously, I don't have I've not set up like a PO box or anything like that. I did think about that, but maybe later if the channel was to get a bit bigger. I've had a couple of poly bags through and things like that, and people I buy off, and maybe they've got an online store or something like that. They sometimes slip something extra in there. So that's always nice.
They come and see you.
Yeah, sometimes.
So what's the furthest you've gone to an event? You go to quite a few events.
Yeah, I do. I tend not. Well, it's growing all the time. It depends how many events I can get into, really. Brick festivals are getting very difficult to get into, just because of the way that they do their tickets. So there are other things out there which I've been trying, which is why I went to the Sandown Brick Fair, which was actually yesterday when we're filming this on the Sunday, which wasn't very successful. But I'm willing to try these things just because.
So there's no limit. If there was one up in Scotland, would you go to one?
Probably not. People ask me all the time. Obviously, I'm originally from Newcastle, and my parents still live up there, and I do occasionally, go up there to Newcastle, and people say, why don't you do a brick fair? It's just the distance, and of course I've got my 9-to-5 job, so me having to drive all up to Newcastle to do a Lego fair would be great. I'd love to do one in Newcastle, because it's my original hometown. I still go back there, and it still feels kind of like home, even though it's changed a lot since I kind of left. But yeah, it's just the logistics of me going all the way up there, and then you'd have to probably end up paying for an overnight stay in a hotel, which is why I end up doing a lot of my fairs within 2.5 hours drive of where I live. yeah.
That's a 5 hours on top of your day.
It is. It's a long way. I think the furthest I've been probably. Yeah, there's a few of them. I've done them at Milton Keynes, Weston-super-Mare and Croydon, all of which are sort of 2+ hours. Probably Milton Keynes is slightly the furthest for me, because it's kind of 2.5 hour drive. I've got one in Northampton in early July. that's going to be another 2.5 hour drive away for me. I don't mind driving, which is probably a good thing. So yeah, that's why I kind of do stick. And look, I live on the south coast. So of course, I'm going to go to the local ones in Bournemouth, Southampton. I'm going to try and get to those if I can, because it's so much nicer. As nice as it is to go to these other places, it is really, really nice when you finish a brick festival and you've got half an hour to drive home.
Would you go? I would totally agree with that. I've seen you do a little video recently of the Brickfest when you saw the dinosaurs and all that. Did you go to many of them as an observer? Because you go, I've seen loads of them as a seller.
You know what? The reason why I went to that, it was called Brickfest Live, and the reason I went to that is because I wanted to go to. There was another thing in Manchester earlier on in the year, and I forget what the name of it was. And a lot of YouTubers went to that, and I would have loved to have gone to that, but it was just on a normal weekend. I was working. And I thought about the logistics. Should I go up there? It was overnight stay, and Manchester's quite a long way for me to get to. And I think because I didn't manage to get to that, that's why I thought, oh, I saw this thing for Brickfest Live. Let's give that a go. So I wouldn't normally go to these events. I think you can quite often get a feel for a lot of these events when you go as a trader, because you can go round, take lots of video before they open to the public, and you know, I'm there as a seller as well. But I do like to go to these things wherever possible. I would like to probably go to more shows than I actually do. Again, it's just sort of time and effort where these shows are.
Man.
I know they do these amazing things in, I think it's Chicago in the States. They do them over there. I'd love to go to one of those. I know there's a really interesting brick fair, I think in the Netherlands, which they normally do around October, November time. So maybe I'll get to one of those one of these days. So yeah, I'd love to do all of these things, but it's just time, effort, you know, money, space. You know, it really just boils down to time, in the fact that, you know, got my 9-to-5 job still to do. I've got to, you know, pay the normal bills as well.
Right, we're almost done. Would you ever do your own event?
No.
No. No.
The reason being is I'm not really an organizer of events. Now I know you do your events, and I've seen the effort that goes into that, and you've got a lot more displays. You do your own mocks and stuff like that, and I just think for me, I'm not the organizery type person. I'm happy to, if someone is organising it, to help and be told what to do. I'm more of a minion than an organizer. But yeah, a lot of people say, oh, do a pop-up shop, do this, that, and I've thought about it. Thought, oh, wouldn't it be great to do my own, you know, little brick festival, brick fair, local to where I live. But then I just think, oh, the organisation of it. And I think because I've got a full-time job, I just think I wouldn't have the time to do it the justice.
Yeah, okay.
And I look at these bigger fairs and festivals like Brick Festival and National Brick Events. And again, you need a whole army of people really to help you do these things.
Right.
And I think it's just more that it's just the time and the organisation is just like, I could probably do it. If I had the time, I could probably do it. But I think it's just easier to let other people do all the hard work and reap all the rewards. From a purely selfish point of view.
There's nothing wrong with that. Places you love to go Lego-wise. What was, you know, if you had to...
Hands down, Lego house every time.
Is it?
Yeah, totally. I've been to quite a few Lego stores around Europe. I've been to the Discovery Centre stores. Never been into the Discovery Centre. I think it's more aimed at kids. I've never actually been to a Legoland theme park. Can you believe that?
Oh.
Because the original Legoland theme park was the only one was the one in Denmark. Always wanted to go as a kid. We never went. My parents always took us to France instead. It was really boring. No, it wasn't really boring. I know. We never got to go to Legoland. It was only me that wanted to go, really. Nobody else did, which is fair enough. And then of course they did the Windsor Lego Park. It's been there for 20 so years now, hasn't it? Never been there. It's just one of those things that just never really got round to doing, I suppose. I'll go one day.
Is there a place you've always wanted to go in the world, Lego-wise, to go and see?
It was the Lego house. So when I went there 2 years ago, it was kind of... I think, I mean, they've got loads of Legoland parks all over the place now. There's one in Florida, I think, as well, which would probably be a good one to go to because they get the weather over there. It really was the Lego house was just on my hit list because I went 2 years ago. I don't know why. It's just, I love the building. The building's amazing. I mean, they literally, it just dominates the whole of the town. Billund's quite a small place, and you've got this big sort of Lego building in the middle of the town. I love the architecture of the building. I think that's quite special. And the inside, you've got the shop, obviously, which are the exclusive sets. You've got the mini chef in one corner, and then you've got all these sort of exhibit stuff at the top. And I was lucky enough to go 2 years ago. I went a couple of days there, and then I went again this year just for the day, which was a bit crazy thing to do, but it was good fun. And I just again, I think I would go to the Lego house again, more so for the shop, I think. It's those exclusive Lego sets that just are so brilliant. It really is. That pirate set, that they call it a minifigure tribute. It's just a great looking set. It really is, and I so enjoy building that set. And it was just, it's really good. So I do think I should probably go to a Legoland theme park. I did a lot of theme parks. 20 years ago, I used to go to Disney quite a lot, and Universal and all this kind of stuff in Florida. And used to go to Alton Towers. I used to live about an hour away from Alton Towers. Used to go to all the theme parks, and I still like rides and stuff like that. But I think because Legoland is more, I think it's more aimed at the younger audience rather than the big thrill rides. I think that's probably why I haven't been. But anyway, so maybe I'll get to go one day. Well, whether or not I end up. We'll have to wait and see.
It's nice to know. Which
Yeah,
one you like.
I'd love to in Billund. They have they do a thing every year, which is an insiders tour. I did apply to go for it for this year, but was rejected. So I'd love to do that.
Right.
I'd love to go back to Billund and do the actual tour, and I'd also love to go. They have like a vault. They have a vault at Lego, which I've seen a few people go to, and I'd love to go.
A guy, I can't remember his name, who does this massive. He's going to actually open a place, and he's doing Western Town. I don't know if you've seen it, and then he goes and buys these Lego bricks from like a. He comes home with bags. I've never seen it. I don't know where it's at. It's in the house. I'll have to show you that, and it's amazing that where he's going. It's probably the same place.
Yeah.
It's really. I'll show you that actually off camera.
So if anybody from Lego is watching, I'd love to go for a behind the scenes tour of the factory. I'd love to go to. Really would love generally to go to a factory, see how it's all made. See the vault with all that's what I'd really love to do. One day maybe.
I know a few
Lego house is great, and as much as I love it, I'd love to do it. I think the next thing for me would be to try and get on this behind the scenes tour that and they do them every year, but they are limited in number. They're very expensive. That it is what it is.
You have to sell your Ferrari.
But that's kind of the next thing for me would be to do something like that.
Okay, cool. I don't see when you sell your stuff, you don't ever sell the Bricklink special sets. Do you ever buy them?
Slip love, give me 2 times, give it